Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Karen Cozier Phillips. C News is live at noon. Topping the news at this time, Minority Leader of the Tobago House of Assembly, Watson Duke, just finished his response to the $4.9 billion fiscal package presented by THA Finance Secretary Joel Jack last week. He says contrary to reports, the Tobago economy is on the decline. Mr. Duke was speaking during the 6th sitting of the THA on Tuesday.
On an annual basis, so much persons losing their work, so much business closing down, and the economy growing? No, it is not.
He also questioned the budget allocation for Tobago, saying he does not know where this money will be coming from.
$9 billion, almost $5 billion, in an economy that is well constricted. Where are we going with that? There's not even place to pass in this economy, but he's putting a budget of $5 billion. When I look at the revenue streams, how do you intend to get that 5 million? I'm looking for it. And I'm saying at best, his revenue streams, when put together at best, amount to some $225 million at best. Where are we going with that?
Well, this morning has been one full of one-man protests. One man staged a protest outside Rituals on Maraval Road in response to comments made by members of the Sabga Abood family on Anthony Bourdain's parts unknown. The protest comes after several expressed their disapproval of the comments made on the show on social media. Peter Christopher tells us more in this report.
Actually, we are the smallest ethnic group in Trinidad.
But the most powerful, almost the most powerful. Smallest but most powerful, huh?
Just not bragging.
And we know it.
But life is good here in Trinidad. Life is very good. But there is a measure of concern in the fact that at one time we used to have a huge middle class, which was a sort of a security in terms of any possible conflict between the haves and the have-not. But now that's eroding and they're getting poorer. So they're starting to get angry.
These comments on CNN's travel and food series Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown, has seen many a social media posts criticizing the outlook of the Sabga Abood family. But on Tuesday, one man came off the internet and set up a demonstration outside Richard's Coffee House on Maraval Road. Ian Raphael Isidore Smart called for those walking by to boycott the franchise, which is owned by Mario Sabga Abood.
And they have the audacity, the 1%, to go up on TV and talk about how they are the most powerful ethnic group in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, I'm here today to say that the most powerful ethnic group in Trinidad and Tobago is we the people. We the ones that have the ability to vote and elect real change, not fake change. They think that they're the most powerful. That is not true. We are the most powerful if we come together.
Mr. Smart took special offense to the claim that the middle class served as a security blanket for the 1%, especially as that group has contributed to the economic inequality of the country, in his opinion.
Well, you know what? Today, I looking to join up forces with the have-nots to go up against the 1%. Income inequality is rising in Trinidad and Tobago.
Mr. Smart notes that the comments made by the Sabga Abood family does not fully represent the outlook of the entire Syrian Lebanese community, but he says those comments stirred him to action.
But I've been in renewable energy business now for 7 years in Trinidad and Tobago, and I've seen the Manning government, the People's Partnership, now the Rowley government, and nothing's being done with renewable energy. And this is the camels, the story that brought the camels back, and I'm out here today protesting. I've never protested before in my life. But that thing that came up on that Anthony Bourdain show was so disgusting that I have even Syrian people that I know were disgusted by what they said.
Mr. Smart, a specialist in renewable energy, also took the opportunity to announce a new political party, We Green Army, with a focus on renewable energy. Smart says he intends to be outside Richard's Coffee House until 7 p.m. this evening. Peter Christopher, C News.
In another one-man demonstration, one man called on the government to look into the use of hempcrete. Lorenzo Mendez Stewart stood outside the Prime Minister's office in St. Clair, calling on the Prime Minister to look into the use of hemp products. He believes such industry could stimulate a stagnant economy.
So what I'm doing right now, I'm just out here bringing the awareness up, letting the public know have a plan called Hemp, which can produce something called hempcrete, as well as a bunch of other things as well too. But right now I'm focused on hempcrete because the nation is in a position where we don't have enough options
for the middle class, you know, to represent. So right now, this is just about me coming out and just letting the public know. I'm not demanding from the Prime Minister. I'm just making them aware that there's a plant called Hemp and there's young people in Trinidad and Tobago who's willing to stand up and grow this plant and utilize this plant for the betterment of Trinidad and Tobago.
He said the use of hempcrete could create jobs for youngsters and could serve as a cheaper yet viable quality alternative for construction.
Hempcrete block. This block here has the potential to produce houses at a more sustainable and a more economical rate than mostly everything else in the construction industry.
He is calling on the government to, at the very least, look into the option.
To stand up out here and make people aware about the product that can bring housing, that can bring relief to different things as far as the pollution in the atmosphere, can create jobs. So I'm just out here to represent that aspect of the youth right now because other youths are giving trouble, things going on. So we need to have a positive representation of the youth. And I'm one of them who come out here to represent that side of the youth. So we asked the Prime Minister if he could take a listening ear and do a little research or take time out to check out what hemp is all about and what it could do for the nation.
This is the CNews Live report at noon. Remember, you can keep up to date with all the latest news on our website at ctvtt.com, or you can check out our Facebook and Twitter pages at CNews Live. Meanwhile, in Tobago, Watson Duke was not by himself as he led the workers of the Studley Park quarry in protest at James Park against the privatization of the quarry. The THA minority leader questioned the logistics behind the sale earlier this morning.
They give away a whole quarry to one man. Imagine that. That is the biggest thief out. A whole quarry that is valued $120 million per year. They have given it away to their friends. Who is this Alan Richards? Who is he? What is his claim to fame? Why is it the government is always doing business with him?
To some crime news now, a Sangre Grande businessman was killed late on Monday following an argument. According to reports, Sheldon Ramdan was fatally chopped following an argument at Palmis Drive. The 35-year-old owner of a poultry depot got into the dispute shortly before 10 p.m. on the Eid public holiday. The argument escalated into violence and Ramdan was chopped in the neck. Ramdan of coal mine Sangre Grande was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Officers are conducting inquiries into the incident. While people headed to and from Shogunas may be experiencing even more traffic than usual. This after this trailer turned over on Monroe Road near Low Cost Corner earlier today. The overturned trailer and the truck has since blocked off the roadway completely, making it impassable for vehicles. Officials are currently trying to move the truck and trailer. President of the Trinidad and Tobago Auto Dealers Association, Visham Babo, is calling on the Ministry of Trade to make public the list of de-authorized dealers. Speaking on Good Morning Trinidad and Tobago earlier today, Mr. Babo expressed concern that the 9 delisted dealers remained a mystery to the public.
Not for my sake, but for the general public who choose to go and purchase a car by someone. I had a customer came into me, and this lady works at a big office in Trinidad, I should say, and she came and she said, Mr. Babo, I heard that some dealers have been deregistered. How I am to know if you are not one of those 9? I said, well, I'm not one of the 9. You could call the Ministry of Trade and they would give you the information. So for the general public, these names of these dealers should be published.
The auto dealers were reportedly delisted after an audit by the ministry. Mr. Babo is also asking what were the factors which led to their delisting.
They said that these dealers are not in compliance, but what they were not in compliance with, because if you say they are not in compliance, there could be a range of reasons. So you could give you reasons why they are not in compliance.
Now for the weather. Well, we enjoyed a generally sunny morning, but this will gradually become increasingly cloudy from about midday. From there, we should see moderate to heavy showers in widespread areas. Tonight will be cloudy with widespread periods of moderate to heavy rains and showers accompanied by gusty winds. Seas are expected to be slight to normal but choppy during heavy showers. Waves are expected to be 1.5 to 2 meters in open waters and below 1 meter in sheltered areas. The motion of no confidence in the Speaker of the House, Bridget Anisette George, could be filed in the House of Representatives this week. Chairman of the United National Congress, Dr. David Lee, told C News, while an exact date has not been set, the party is ready to move the motion. But could this motion really have an impact? Rishi Harinanan spoke with political analyst Dr. Winford James on this. Here is this report.
Over the weekend, the National Executive of the UNC instructed its Parliamentary caucus to file a motion on the conduct of the Speaker of the House. On Friday, Princestown MP Barry Padarat walked out of the House after he said the Speaker failed to scold a government member who shouted the word racist across the floor while he was contributing to a motion of urgent public importance. UNC Chairman Dr. David Lee said this is just one of the many issues they have with Mrs. Bridget Anisette George.
Right now we are working on fine-tuning that motion of no confidence. We are fully prepared, but I wouldn't like to say at this point in time when it will be filed. It could be filed this week, but we haven't decided exactly what date and when, because we have two sittings this week. We have Wednesday and on Friday. Friday is our private members' day.
However, even if they file the motion, the government has the majority in the lower house and is expected to be defeated. Political analyst Dr. Winford James said it seems as though the UNC is simply looking to raise an issue which will show people it is still alive.
Spending the time discussing in an informed and intelligent way how the country can deal with flooding after storms and hurricanes and so on. The UNC, on the basis of some racist remark or some race-based remark, decided to walk out. So we must ask the UNC whether they think that walking out is superior to staying in the House and debating the issue so that the nation can see what the political parties are thinking might be the right solution.
Dr. James said the Parliament is an integral part of the country's development. However, politicians are not using it in the right way.
What they did there does not begin to advance our lives. And so they have a duty to explain to the country what was the benefit to the country of their walking out. And they haven't heard that explanation or that apology, that explanation.
He said the only way to move forward is when parliamentarians actually take up the role of representing their constituencies. Rishi Harinanan, C News.
Meanwhile, Minister of Public Administration and Communications, Maxi Cuffy, has said he prefers not to comment on reports that the opposition may raise a motion of no confidence against the Speaker of the House, Bridget Anisette George.
I have seen reports of the motion, If there is a motion, then I will speak to it, but I don't want to comment on that.
Well, the opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar says her party did not walk out of the debate on the flooding following the passage of Tropical Storm Bret in the Parliament on Friday. In a statement, she said the opposition fully participated in the debate in the time allotted for same and highlighted the extensive damage and lethargic government response. The government's reply, it noted, was the typical fare of blame casting, stonewalling and irrelevancies. Further, Mrs. Persad-Bissessar said the opposition did not abandon the people's business. She said government continued debate on the Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Amendment Bill, on which a total of 6 opposition members of Parliament had contributed over the 2 days in which the same was debated. Further news now, let's catch you up on cleanup and relief efforts over the long weekend. While life has returned to some level of normalcy after Tropical Storm Bret, for some, others are still trying to put the pieces of their lives together. Let's take you back to yesterday, where Jan Trev Bob was left virtually homeless. The MP for her area, Maxi Cuffy, however, found a temporary home for her at his constituency office. Peter Christopher has more in this report.
Well, I could say it unfolded good because I have somewhere to rest with my daughter, so that was the main first concern.
Jan Trev Bob explaining life days after her home was destroyed by flooding following Tropical Storm Bret. Miss Bob and her daughter now live upstairs the Caparo constituency office of La Hocata Talparo MP Maxi Cuffy. It's a turn of events that she's extremely grateful for, given the extent of the damage to her house.
Well, I must say it was great support, because sometimes in situations you may count the amount of people might be affected the same way you are affected. So it may not look for it to be so urgent, but thank God that, you know, I was able to have food in the home also. It wasn't just I get home without food in it. I didn't just get home without clothes or a bed to sleep on, so all praise to God, and even to the councillor and the MP.
Mrs. Bob's stay at the office is being accommodated by the Ministry of Social Development Rental Assistance Program, which is covering 3 months' rent at $2,500 a month. At the end of the 3 months, Miss Bob will have to find her own accommodation again. But by that time, she hopes her home will be rebuilt. And the steps to that process are already being taken.
Self-help, which they also visit me this morning. They went up by the home, they get a view of the home, they were able to take out pictures and they were able to guide me how I should go from there. Because it's not something I really accustomed going through to say, well, I literally know the wrong about. So I was able to be guided through it today, so that was like an extra relief, so thanks to God.
Mr. Cuffey says Miss Bob's situation could be seen as a best-case scenario following a disaster, but says she is still in need of assistance.
The council is making arrangements to move her stuff from the destroyed home. I contacted the National Commission for Self-Help, and they paid her a visit this morning, and they are going to give her assistance through the National Commission for Self-Help to rebuild the home, which is it's on family land, so there are no property issues there. And so quickly, hopefully, her home will be rebuilt, and she'll be able to go back to Mamaral, Likam Road, where she lives.
However, for now, Miss Bob remains grateful for the help she has received so far. Peter Christopher, C News.
It's time for sport now, and begin with basketball. Trailblazers had a winning debut in the North Zone's men's Division 1 basketball with a win over more experienced Caledonia Clippers at the Jean Pierre Sports Complex. Blazers, who trailed the entire first half, had to overcome a double-digit deficit, as Ian Wason explains in this report.
Clippers started the stronger of the two teams with a 16-8 run led by Sean Lawrence, seen here. In the third quarter, Lawrence, who led all scorers with 25 points, made sure Clippers were still up 43-30. But with the Clippers bench thin and only 2 players on it, Trailblazers came back into the competition. Here Buko made it 45-47, still trailing by 2. A neat play from Trailblazers. The backdoor pass, Buko scoring here. He scored 13 points. Trailblazers kept on the pressure and were leading deep into the fourth quarter with this 3 from Giovanni Andrews, 67-64. But the experienced Lawrence was determined. Clippers were not going down like that. The score 67-66, Clippers still behind. But a big play from Akil Painter, the steal, and then Stephen Williams to put the Clippers on top 69-67. Giovanni Andrews was fouled going for a 3, so he got 3 free throws. Now score all 3 and the Trailblazers on top by 1 again. But he missed the first one, but scored the other 2 and sends the game into 5 extra minutes. Now during the overtime, Trailblazers went on to an 80-75 win to make a winning debut in North Zone Division 1.
So they say the fellas are more experienced and stuff than us, you understand? And as you can see, we are a younger team, you know? So come out here, we try our best, play offense, play defense, you know? And we get even today.
Action will continue on weekends at the Jean Pierre Sports Complex, and the league will announce the fixtures for this weekend during the week. Ian Wason, C Sports.
And that's how we end our C News report at noon. I'm Karen Phillip. Remember, for up-to-date and breaking news throughout the day, you can visit the C News website at ctvtt.com. Do have a good afternoon.